Vulnerability is courage without armor. It is the moment you choose honesty over image, truth over protection, authenticity over approval. We have been conditioned to believe that strength means being untouchable, unaffected, emotionally invincible. We are taught to hide our fears, to suppress our tears, to smile even when our hearts are heavy. Armor becomes our identity. We walk into rooms pretending we are fine. We speak as if nothing hurts us. We build walls so high that no one can see what we are truly carrying. But armor is heavy. It protects, yes, but it also isolates. It keeps pain out, yet it also keeps connection out. When you are always guarded, you may appear strong, but you feel alone. Vulnerability is the decision to remove that armor, even when your hands are shaking. It is standing in your truth without guarantees. It is allowing yourself to be seen, not just your strengths, but your fears, your doubts, your imperfections. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. Vulnerability embodies that definition completely. When you admit you are struggling, you risk judgment. When you share your story, you risk criticism. When you share your story, you risk criticism. When you open your heart, you risk rejection. Yet you do it anyway. That is bravery in its purest form. The world often celebrates the loud, the dominant, the seemingly fearless. But the strongest individuals are often the ones who have faced their deepest insecurities and chosen to confront them openly. It takes immense strength to say, I am not okay. It takes emotional maturity to admit, I was wrong. It takes self-awareness to acknowledge, I need help. Armor convinces you that hiding your weaknesses will earn respect. But in reality, authenticity earns deeper respect than perfection ever could. People connect with honesty. They relate to real struggles. They trust those who are transparent. Vulnerability builds bridges. It creates space for empathy. It transforms relationships from surface level interactions into meaningful bonds. When you remove your armor, you also remove the pressure of pretending. You no longer have to exhaust yourself maintaining an image. You no longer fear being exposed because you have already exposed yourself with dignity. That freedom is powerful. It allows you to live without constantly guarding your identity. Vulnerability also strengthens self-acceptance. When you stop hiding your flaws, you begin to accept them. You recognize that imperfections do not disqualify you from greatness. They humanize you. They remind you that growth is a process, not a destination. Instead of fighting your weaknesses, you learn from them. There is something transformative about owning your story. The moment you speak about your pain without shame, it loses some of its control over you. Secrets carry weight. Silence born from fear becomes suffocating. But when you express what you once hid, you reclaim power. You decide that your vulnerability will not define you negatively. It will refine you, also invites growth. When you admit you do not know everything, you become open to learning. When you accept that you are imperfect, you create room for improvement. Armor blocks growth because it pretends there is nothing to fix. Courage removes that illusion. It is easy to appear strong when life is smooth. It is easy to project confidence when nothing challenges you. But when life breaks your plans, when circumstances shake your stability, when emotions overwhelm you, vulnerability becomes the doorway to resilience. Instead of denying the pain, you face it. Instead of pretending you are unaffected, you process it. That processing builds real strength, the kind that is sustainable. Without armor, you may feel exposed, but you are also flexible. Armor is rigid. It can crack under pressure. Vulnerability bends. It adapts. It allows you to move forward without the burden of constant defense. It replaces pride with humility, fear with openness, isolation with connection. Courage without armor does not mean recklessness. It does not mean sharing everything with everyone. It means being honest in the right spaces. It means trusting yourself enough to show up as you are. It means understanding that your value is not reduced by your sensitivity. True strength is not in hiding your wounds. It is in acknowledging them and continuing to rise. It is in letting the world see your humanity without apologizing for. You back up vulnerability is not weakness disguised as bravery. It is bravery in its most transparent form, standing exposed, aware of the risks, yet choosing truth over protection and authenticity over the illusion of invincibility. Pain is a teacher, not an enemy. Yet most of us spend our lives running from it, resisting it, resenting it. The moment discomfort appears, we search for escape. We distract ourselves. We deny our emotions. We blame circumstances. We blame people. We treat pain as something unfair, something that should never have happened. But what if pain is not a punishment? What if it is preparation? Every painful experience carries a lesson wrapped inside it. The betrayal that shattered your trust teaches you discernment. The failure that embarrassed you teaches you humility. The rejection that broke your confidence teaches you self-worth. Pain has a language, and when you learn to listen instead of resist, it begins to transform you. When something hurts, your first instinct is to fight it. You ask, "Why me?" You replay the situation over and over in your mind. You wish it had never happened. But growth rarely comes from comfort. Comfort keeps you still. Pain pushes you to reflect. It forces you to confront weaknesses you ignored. It exposes you to confront weaknesses you ignored. It exposes patterns you refuse to see. Pain slows you down. And sometimes slowing down is necessary. In the rush of ambition and daily responsibilities, you rarely pause to evaluate your life. But pain demands attention. It interrupts your routine. It makes you sit with yourself. In that stillness, you begin to understand what truly matters. It teaches emotional depth. Without pain, you would not understand compassion. Without heartbreak, you would not value genuine connection. Without loss, you would not appreciate presence. Pain expands your capacity to feel, and with that expansion comes wisdom. Many people allow pain to harden them. They build walls. They become cynical. They decide never to trust again. But pain's purpose is not to make you bitter. It is to make you better. The lesson lies in how you interpret it. If you see pain as proof that life is against you, you remain a victim. If you see pain as a teacher, you become a student of resilience. There is strength in asking, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That question shifts your mindset. Instead of focusing on the injustice, you focus on the insight. Instead of staying trapped in self-pity, you search for growth. Pain also reveals your inner capacity. You often underestimate yourself until you are forced to endure something difficult. When challenges arise, you discover endurance you did not know you possessed. You realize that you can survive nights of doubt, days of disappointment, seasons of uncertainty. Each painful chapter proves your resilience. It teaches boundaries. When someone hurts you, you learn what you will and will not tolerate. You understand the importance of protecting your peace. You recognize the value of self-respect. Pain clarifies your standards. It teaches patience. Healing does not happen instantly. Emotional wounds require time, and in that time you learn endurance. You learn that not everything can be fixed immediately. You develop the ability to sit with discomfort without collapsing under it. Pain also deepens gratitude. After experiencing loss, you cherish what remains. After surviving hardship, you appreciate stability. After feeling broken, you value moments of peace. Without contrast, gratitude would be shallow. When you treat pain as an enemy, you resist its message. Resistance prolongs suffering, but acceptance shortens it. Acceptance does not mean you enjoy the hurt. It means you acknowledge it without denying it. It means you allow yourself to feel without judgment. Growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is rarely gentle. The strongest individuals are not those who avoided pain, They are those who walked through it with awareness. They did not allow it to define their identity, but they allowed it to shape their wisdom. Pain teaches resilience, empathy, boundaries, patience, gratitude, and self awareness. It strips away illusions. It reveals your priorities. It forces honesty with yourself. It strengthens your emotional muscles. You may not choose your painful experiences, but you choose your response to them. You decide whether they will shrink you or sharpen you. You decide whether they will leave scars that weaken you or scars that remind you of survival. When you stop seeing pain as an enemy attacking you and start seeing it as a teacher guiding you, you begin to understand that some of the most difficult moments in your life were not obstacles blocking your path, but lessons shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more aware than you were before. Emotional honesty builds inner power. There is a silent strength that develops when you stop lying to yourself about what you feel. Many people move through life disconnected from their own emotions. They say, I'm fine, when they are overwhelmed. They say, it doesn't matter, when it deeply hurts. They convince themselves that ignoring emotions is maturity, but denial is not strength. Suppression is not control. True inner power begins the moment you face your emotions with honesty. Emotional honesty requires self-awareness. It asks you to pause and examine what is happening within you. Are you angry? Or are you hurt? Are you frustrated? Or are you afraid? Often, we label our emotions incorrectly because we have never taken the time to understand them. Anger may be covering insecurity. Silence may be hiding disappointment. When you identify your real feelings, you gain clarity, and clarity creates control. When you are emotionally honest, you stop projecting your unresolved pain onto others. You stop blaming people for reactions that are rooted in your own insecurities. Instead of saying, you made me feel this way, you recognize this situation triggered something within me. That awareness shifts your power back to you. It means you are no longer a victim of external events. You become responsible for your internal state. Inner power is built through responsibility. When you accept your emotions without judgment, you stop running from them. You stop distracting yourself with noise, overworking, or seeking validation. You sit with discomfort and learn from it. That ability to sit with your truth without collapsing builds resilience. Emotional honesty also strengthens your decisions. If you deny your dissatisfaction in a relationship, you remain stuck. If you ignore your passion for something meaningful, you remain unfulfilled. If you pretend that a toxic environment does not affect you, you slowly lose your confidence. Honesty forces you to confront what needs change. There is courage in admitting vulnerability. When you say, I am struggling, you remove the pressure of pretending. When you say, I need support, you open the door to growth. Emotional honesty does not make you weak, it makes you real. And real people build real strength. Many people fear emotional honesty because it exposes them. It removes the mask, it reveals insecurities, doubts, and fears. But the mask is heavy. Maintaining a false image drains energy. When you stop pretending, you feel lighter, you feel lighter, you feel aligned with yourself. That alignment creates stability. Inner power is not about dominating others, it is about mastering yourself. When you understand your emotional patterns, you stop repeating destructive cycles. You notice when you are reacting from past wounds rather than present reality. You recognize when your ego is driving your behavior instead of your values. Emotional honesty also improves communication. When you express yourself clearly and calmly, misunderstandings decrease. Instead of reacting impulsively, you articulate your feelings with intention. This builds respect in relationships. People trust those who are authentic. Avoiding emotions does not eliminate them, it only delays them. Unprocessed feelings resurface in unexpected ways through anger, withdrawal, or anxiety. But when you address emotions directly, you prevent them from controlling you unconsciously. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your emotional landscape. You understand what triggers you. You understand what triggers you. You understand what